Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trekyards. I am Captain
And
Foley,
Cogs. Welcome back.
and we got a new ship. We got an old ship, but we got a new ship. We got a Saladin class, probably, maybe.
Single nacelle. Single nacelle ship.
Do you remember a few years ago? We kept getting like Saladin, Saladin. People wanted a video
It still
on it.
echoes in my walls, yeah.
We do have a video on it. Go watch it. It's a very interesting ship and a good history on it. But we got one officially in Strange New Worlds, which is awesome.
And that's a funny thing. You say a great history, but none of it's canon. Not a single thing. It's never appeared in canon in any form.
Exactly. It's so popular.
Yeah, and I never considered this ship was not in canon because it's in the books and it's one of its most logical kit bash redesign, and I've used it multiple times in fan film. So, but it is legitimately the first appearance of this sort of style of ship. It's like, oh wow, okay, huh. And there are some other ships in the dry dock, but they're not really seeable enough for talk about yet. But hopefully we'll see them again. At least that tells us that they're not just necessarily reusing the Discovery ship's whole cloth. They are doing new things. This ship could have been literally anything, and they made the effort to make, or at least kit bash, a new old ship. So that's a good sign of things to come if they're putting effort into new ships rather than just Discovery reuses. But Stuart, the first picture is the best picture that we get. And what a great view. That's like their satellites from the ground. That's a very clear shot.
I just want to clarify for people that maybe don't understand. This is the USS Archer. So if you're just watching this show and that's all you know it by, it's the Archer, but it is a Saladin class type ship. But
Non-canon,
yes,
but everyone knows it. We'll see if they say that on the show.
it's canon.
It really isn't. So we'll see if they say it on the show.
Hopefully
they
it
will.
is, though.
Hopefully they will.
Anyway, yes. So it was great to see it, first of all. I like the design. I just do not like that attachment strut. It should be a neck. It'd have windows in it. It should, but that's the thing. I think this is a much smaller ship, considering there's only 3 people on board, and there's no windows along the saucer rim like any other ship, really. It's cool to see a spike on the front. That's good.
Which you can't really tell, but you can see in the LCARS view there's a spike. It is really kind of hidden in the first shot. Just looks like a bump.
No, but I mean that speaks to like the Cage era, the Pike era, older design probably. So that's cool.
Which is a bit of a tricky sort of thing because that all stuff is not really canon in their universe. It's kind of odd to even show it. Like this is not their. This is.
They're trying to do the aesthetic right, I think, and that's cool. I mean, I think this is a more scientific, specialized ship. I'm getting vibes of like a smaller ship, like the Grissom or something, like specific scientific research vessel. But
I mean, it could be any size, but like you say, what really speaks to is there's lack of windows, and you would see them, and you could make a nacelle any size, although they shouldn't have had warp drive at this point for shuttles, but obviously Discovery shuttles have warp drive, so they retconned that out in their own canon. So this thing is capable of any warp. It's very odd to have a 3-person ship that makes it shuttle sized, and a saucer feels like a very inefficient shape for a shuttle, because if this is one deck, I mean it's not big, and a lot of inefficient wall space with no windows either.
Yeah. Problem is we don't have anything to scale it by. Even if we usually use windows for scale, there's not even that to help us here.
Well, like I say, 3 people, no windows. Those are the clues. And there's a front hole, which might be the window view screen area. I mean, if they insist on having a view screen window, then they would need one in this as well. And if you look at the MSD view L-casting, there isn't really a top bridge dome of note. It's very, very flat with a little bump, but it's not a bridge dome. There's certainly no window there. Unless it's a huge ship, and it wouldn't be to 3 people. So I guess that front bit is a window. And if it is just one deck for the saucer.
Yeah, I mean, that MSD view almost feels like the red areas are like engineering. Because it's attached to the strut.
Well,
it feels like
there's no engineering in the nacelle, so you've got to pack everything inside the saucer.
Yeah. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is just that cutout in the strut, the attachment thing. It just kind of looks odd. I wish that wasn't there. But
Well, it looks literally and figuratively unfinished and extremely weak and unnecessary. But the nacelle's interesting because it's they've once, I don't know if John Eves helped in this because he likes and has done many earlier TOS variant nacelles, I feel it's surprising to John because they just kind of went for bulky plates vibe. But I do like it in general. It feels more like a low-key steampunk sort of nacelle. Just kind of the little bits. But I do like it. And it does, I mean, it certainly feels like an older ship. They've succeeded in making it feel older. And considering their new design is so fresh, sleek, and radically advanced, how do you go older than that? This is how they do it.
Yeah, and I think that was a good choice. Like, again, that speaks to the spike on the front of the nacelle as well, again. Just feeling like an older design. So, yeah, I have no real issues with the nacelle at all. Just, I was really confused by just 3 people on board, and also just not a fan of that strut aesthetic. But
the most interesting thing to me, though, is the lower phaser cannons, I guess, or sensor pallets, or deflect. Well, it's probably deflectors, isn't it, actually, because the Discovery has those 2-pronged deflectors. So I guess that's a very, very tiny deflector, just like a little pod.
Well, that would make sense, because I mean, on the original Franz Josef Saladin class, it actually has the deflector dish hanging down from the front there. So yeah,
super small, super small.
Yeah, I would suggest everybody to look up the Saladin class episode we did, because there's a lot of great information in there as well. I'll actually include the link in the description of this video, so you guys can go check it out too.
Yeah, one of the odd thing I'm noticing is that, you know, you always have red and green blinkies. On this ship, for some reason, the green blinky is active. There is no bulb in the red blinky slot, and it's not on. Red and green blink at the exact same rate. I guess it's a render error that they forgot to turn the red blinky on, because there's no reason it wouldn't be on, but the Basard's on, the warp engine's on, so it's fully, and they even say it's fully powered, so that's just, I guess, a render error, because they do it at the exact same speed. There's no, that's just a mistake.
It could be that, you know, just it burnt out on the way there, or it broke, and it's an old, just showing again, it's an older ship, they haven't taken care of it.
Or it's a render error. It's a lot more likely. And of course there is a top view, but it is a zoom in of a zoom in of a zoom in, and it just looks like a video game, you know, a silver JJ asset. You know, it's so sort of lo-fi and glowy that it just looks like, which is, you know, is what it is.
Yeah, like you can see grid lines and stuff on the top of the saucer, but like you said earlier, no real bridge module or BC deck or anything like that. Which
is different, you know. It'd be recessed, especially if it's a shuttle, just a big shuttle. Then have it all in one deck is a limitation. So there is no, you know, why would you need to put a second? You know, if it's only 2 decks, why would you need to take one turbolift shaft down, or just have it all on the same floor? Be a waste of everyone's time to have to turbolift and not as safe.
Yeah, well, I mean, you wouldn't need a turbolift in such a small ship. You're absolutely right. It's much like the actual Archer, the small little Archer class that's been floating around for years that was used in the Vanguard series. It's like 2 or 3 decks, and they just have ladders going from deck to deck. So, yeah.
So it's definitely, and like I said, really nice symbol of, hey, look, we are doing new things.
Strange new things.
Well, not that strange, but confusing. The 3 people is definitely, but we'll see. You know, it's an asset now exists. It's pretty low quality, but doesn't need to be anymore. So, you know, we'll see it hopefully again. Hopefully around the galaxy, as well as those other ships. We clearly saw a Miranda variant in space dock or dry dock. Hopefully we'll see that flying around, and hopefully there'll be some, you know, big space battle-y kind of stuff at some point too.
A lot of people speculated going into this show, would we see any of the other fleet? Would we see any Franz Josef designs or whatever? Well, first episode out of the gate, here you go. Here's a single engine, single nacelle ship. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing more.
Because we know they can't legally use the Franz Josef stuff, but the idea of a one nacelle isn't a Franz Josef concept. You know, that can't be trademarkable. So it's just, this is obviously a close enough and the same enough that it works. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, let us know in the comment section what you thought of this ship. I know it was quite talked about last night on my first reaction video. So, any ideas you have, what size it is, why there's only 3 people, let us know in the comments. And please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon so you can join us for our lives, where we talk about this kind of stuff. And we absolutely love Star Trek, so anything new, we're going to be talking about it. So, please join us for those.
And support us in those discussions, those theorizations, those conversations on Trekyards by supporting us via Patreon, PayPal, join the channel on YouTube, or super chatting in the lives. That really is a great way. We'd love to hear what you guys think, and it supports the channel. It means a win-win there. So if you can, please do. If you can't, just tune in And make sure to see us for our next ship video, as Stranger Worlds might or will possibly be showing new ships pretty regularly. We'll see. Cross fingers, Joe. Cross fingers.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, guys, until next time, he's Commander Cox.
He's got a Foley. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.